All right, what is up, you dogs? I'm coming back at you with the new one. Today we're doing players that I am scared to draft. All right, that doesn't mean that I won't draft them. However, I am just a little bit scared. All right, so let's do it. Okay, so first, let's talk about Sir Christian McCaffrey. Now, obviously, he is going number one overall right now, and well-deserved. He was an absolute monster last year, had like 400 plus touches through the season, so obviously crazy volume there. He is turning 28 this year, which, you know, that's the big scary, ooh, stay away from that number if you're a running back. You know, it's like well regarded as the age where running backs just become useless. Now, obviously, Christian McCaffrey is an elite talent, and, you know, I think that he's going to have a bit more longevity than some of these other chumps might, but it is concerning that, you know, few things. So, he did have that calf injury in training camp, and that's definitely not a good thing when you consider, I mean, how much the 49ers use him and how likely that is to be re-aggravated at some point throughout the season. You don't love to see that in training camp. That's pretty disappointing. Let me just say, I still would probably take him with the first pick. I mean, he's obviously amazing, but it's just a little bit scary because, you know, he had such a big workload last year. That takes a toll on your body, so he's likely going to have a similar workload this year. I mean, it worked so well last year. Like, why the hell would they not, you know? Oh, wait. But I forgot. They brought in Matt Breida, so it's over for Christian McCaffrey. 49ers legend Matt Breida is back in the house. All right, next, moving on to Puka. So he is currently going as wide receiver 7, ADP of 12.7. So he's going just slightly outside the first round currently, which I think he's probably still going to continue to fall a little bit more. So yeah, he's going as wide receiver 7 this year. Last year he finished as wide receiver 5. So, you know, it's definitely a bit scary with him because, so for one, if Cooper Kupp is able to come back and remain healthy, I mean, realistically, how much volume is he going to take from Puka? Because if he's there the whole season, if they both are, Puka's not getting 1,500 yards again, most likely. I mean, unless Cooper Kupp really has regressed that significantly, which I don't really agree with. I mean, we saw him have some big games last year still, so I think that capability is still there. So I'm just kind of concerned with that unknown there. I mean, we all know that Rams offense is going to have production in it. It's going to have people putting up points, but it's not exactly super easy to pinpoint where some of those points are going to go right now. So, you know, also, Puka suffered a training camp injury. He's like week to week right now. I think it was knee. But yeah, that's definitely concerning. I mean, Puka has missed some games in his college career. Yeah, I mean, 8, 3, 9. That's not great. You don't love to see that out of such a young player, that those injuries tend to persist when they go into the pros. So hopefully that is not the case with Puka. But, I mean, he was so good last year. We all saw how talented he is. I love him as a player. I will draft him if he falls a little bit, but I am certainly scared to draft him. All right, so on a similar note, staying with the Rams, let's talk about Kyren Williams. So he's obviously incredibly talented. I mean, he led the league in rushing yards per game last year. But, I mean, he's another dude who just, the injury concerns scare me because, so he missed some games in 2022 because of a high ankle sprain. And then last year, he re-aggravated that injury and had the exact same high ankle sprain and missed 5 games. So, you know, that's definitely concerning. It really seems like that's going to be something that continues to bother him. Hopefully not, because I mean, when he's on the field, he's incredible. And, you know, it's also just kind of scary with that Rams offense because they kind of tend to abuse the hell out of their running backs, you know, just fucking run them into the ground until they are down in the dirt and can't get up. And they can throw anybody in there and get productions out of their running back somehow, even with no-name dudes like Darrell Henderson and Ronnie Rivers or whatever. But now they have Blake Corum behind Kyren, which is another scary thing. I mean, if Blake comes in and kills it, they're probably not going to be super quick to rush Kyren back on the field if he gets injured. You know what I mean? So, you know, I think that the ceiling is there for Kyren. The sky is the fucking limit, but there's just so many things that make me scared to draft him, but I still will, baby. All right, so now we're going to move on to Mr. Devontae Adams, who is currently going as wide receiver 10, ADP of 17.3, so like middle of second round, early-ish, and he will be turning 20. What he will be turning 32 this year. So last year he finished as the wide receiver 11, like I said, going as 10 this year. I mean, obviously he's just amazing. Look at this just absolutely glorious Pro Football Reference page. I mean, doesn't get a whole lot better than this. But, you know, like I said, he's turning 32, so that definitely scares me a little bit. Like I said with CMC, you know, a lot of these elite talents, you can kind of sometimes hope that they are exceptions to that just because of, you know, what athletic freaks they are. So it's not just the injury concerns with him, though. I mean, so you got the quarterback play. I don't trust Aiden O'Connell. I don't really see a great future in the NFL for him. You know, I think like his ceiling is like bottom of the league starter, and I'd be surprised if he achieved that, honestly. So don't love him. You know, I do like Gardner Minshew. I think that he's capable of giving Devontae a solid season for sure, better than last year, probably in between 2022 and 2023, somewhere in the middle there. But also, man, the Raiders have just been so dysfunctional for the past couple decades. Like, it's hard to trust them to make a right decision, honestly. I don't know, you know. Apparently the whole team is rallying behind Antonio Pierce, and that's all good, you know, sounds great, but I don't know. I kind of need to see it before I believe it. Obviously, they had some good games at the end of last year, looked more functional than ever, frankly, but I still want to see a little bit more, all right? Devontae just scares me a little bit. Not that I won't draft him, but he does scare me. All right, so next, moving on to a former Raider. That's going to be Josh Jacobs. So he is going as RB12, ADP 25, and he finished last year as the RB27. Yikes. Yeah, like I said, dysfunctional Raiders. I don't know. Josh Jacobs was injured last year, and he has missed games every single season except for his miraculous 2022 season. So, you know, you kind of expect him to be off the field at some point during this next year. And, I mean, yeah, he has just seen so much volume. Like, the Raiders really abuse the hell out of him. He's had a huge workload every single season with them, pretty much. So, yeah, that really takes a toll on those guys. And I don't think that Josh Jacobs is some elite talent. I think that this 22 season was volume, you know. I think that Derrick Henry had like 10 more attempts than him in a very dysfunctional Titans offense. But I don't know. I don't think that Josh Jacobs is one of those elite talents that can just play through this type of volume and be okay. You know, I think it's really taken a toll on his body. So that scares me. And then just the whole Green Bay running back room thing scares me as well, because we saw it with Aaron Jones. It's always been a committee there, right? They would throw A.J. Dillon in there, Jamal Williams, whoever the fuck random name was in the backfield, they'll throw him in there, even if they were as shitty as A.J. Dillon was last year, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I don't know. Taking Josh Jacobs with a late second round pick, early third round pick, it definitely scares me. He's one of those players who I really am not drafting a lot of unless they fall. There's just other players I would rather take around that area, so no disrespect to Josh Jacobs, but I'm probably going to be avoiding him for the most part this year. Okay, now number 6, a real fun one, Brandon Aiyuk. Now, unless you're Patrick Starr and live under a fucking rock, we all have seen the news that has been going on with Brandon Aiyuk. Trade rumors like crazy. Oh, he's going to the Patriots. Oh, he's going to the Browns. Where the hell are you going? Oh, he's going to the Browns. Oh, he's going to the Steelers. Oh, he's going to the Panthers. It's literally, there have been so many teams named. It's absolutely ridiculous at this point, to be honest. He has just been kind of a diva this whole offseason, and it's a little bit cringe in my mind. Like his girlfriend posting videos of him saying stupid shit and like taking videos of him FaceTiming Jaden Daniels or whatever. That shit's kind of weak. I don't know. This whole situation has kind of made me lose a little bit of respect for Brandon Aiyuk. Not that he's not a great ball player, but whatever. Enough of that. So obviously this all heavily impacts fantasy implications, though. I mean, we don't know where he's going to go. It really seems unlikely at this point that he's going to stay in San Francisco. I mean, he hasn't been going to training camp or anything. He's doing a full holdout. So looks like he's out of there. Plus, Christian McCaffrey slipped up and called him his former teammate on an interview, which was pretty funny.
Obviously, as a former teammate, or teammate.
But yeah, I don't know. He's going as wide receiver 15, ADP 31. So like towards the end of the third round in a 12-man league. And so he finished as a wide receiver 14 in 2023. So going one spot past that. I don't know. He's just kind of hard to predict. So the most recent report that I read today said that it looks very likely that he's going to the Steelers. Apparently they just upped their trade offer for him. So I don't know. That seems like the most likely landing place for Ayuk. But yeah, I don't know. All this drama stuff, it typically doesn't end well with players. We've seen it happen several times. These holdouts typically end poorly. But yeah, if he does go to the Steelers, who the hell knows? I mean, he's sharing that receiving room with George Pickens. Not that he's not used to sharing the ball. He's coming from San Francisco. But I don't know. Russell Wilson has been struggling with injuries. I think Russ is still capable of supporting both Ayuk and Pickens. I'm not sure exactly how much. I don't think Ayuk can quite recreate this season. I mean, that was crazy efficiency last year. 1,300 yards on 75 receptions. That's pretty nice. But yeah, I don't know. Justin Fields trying to support these two definitely scares me. This whole situation as a whole is just, it's freaky. I want to know more about what's going to happen to Brandon Ayuk next year before I really make any judgment decisions on him. Okay, and my last favorite one, Rachaad White. So he's going as RB13, ADP 34, so right at the end of the third round, possibly going into the fourth. Last year, he finished as running back 7. He had a pretty good season. After week 7, he killed it. But so, first of all, he scares me because Dave Canales is gone. And we've seen at this point, it's kind of hard not to believe that he's a bit of a miracle worker of sorts. I mean, he made Geno Smith look great. He made Baker look great after Baker had been booted from team to team. So it is definitely concerning that Canales is gone. And I mean, yeah, Baker. Can Baker remain consistent? I love Baker personally. I think he's that dude. I think he's got that dog in him, but he's scary for sure. I mean, we've seen him have good seasons before and then fall off a cliff. So what are we going to do about Baker? I don't know. I hope that he has another great season in his pocket. But so I wasn't really sure if I wanted to put Rachaad White on here because, I mean, he's going as RB13 when he finished as RB7 last year. I think that he's capable of having another season like last year, and I like him as a player. But then I looked into who the Bucs hired as their new coordinator, and boy, was it interesting. So Liam Cohen. Who the hell is Liam Cohen, do you ask? So this dude has kind of bounced around his coaching career. So he was with the Rams back in 2018, 2020. Went and had some success at Kentucky. And then, he was the Rams offensive coordinator in 2022. Isn't that interesting? Now let's think here. 2022 Rams. Oh yeah, they won the Super Bowl in 2021. Oh, that's right. They had the worst record as a reigning Super Bowl champ ever in 2022. Let's look into that a little bit more. So the 2022 Rams, coached by offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, they were last in passing yards per game. They were 5th to last in rushing yards per game. They were 6th to last in points per game. That is not good. That is extremely concerning. This dude went out with the Rams and put out a dog shit offense. Absolutely horrible. And I know like Stafford was dealing with injuries and whatnot 2022. Whatever. I don't want to hear it. That is bad. So that officially scared the fuck out of me when it comes to Rachaad White. I was like, okay, I wasn't sure if I wanted to put him on this list, but I absolutely am now. Good Lord. I really hope that this dude can figure his shit out and put out a good offense this time around, because who were those 2022 Los Angeles Rams stinky? Okay, cool. Well, that was fun. Let's do it again sometime. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment if you like, disagree, agree. Let's talk about it, okay? All right, love you guys.